Welcome back to the channel. Coming up in this episode, highlights from around the verse with Chris Roberts and Aaron Roberts.
I'm Chris Roberts.
And I'm Aaron Roberts.
And together we're Roberts Squared.
Also highlights of the LA studio update with Eric Kieran Davis. And this week we learn all about serialized variables from Brian Johnson. And also the next concept ship, the Jean Knox, is, well, not quite revealed. And it's another space motorcycle. All this and more coming up in this episode. But first, let's go to the highlights of the LA studio update with Eric Kieran Davis. First of all, Eric told us that he's just returned from visiting both Foundry 42 in Frankfurt and in the UK, where he's been collaborating on various things. Now, Eric told us that the narrative team have been busy compiling all the descriptive information for all the items in 3.0, including over 2,800 lines of dialogue for the NPCs. Now, the team has also been looking at all the locations in 3.0, deciding what type of props, posters need to be placed in the environment to make them look like a living, breathing environment. Now, of course, cargo is coming into 3.0, going to be a big part of the game, and they've actually got these cargo grids to give them a guide to what can fit in different sizes of ships. So depending on the size of your ship, these grids can indicate how many crates you can get in as cargo. You can carry other things like weapons, and also things like a dragonfly, but it will affect the amount of cargo you can get in your ship. We know that object containers are an important part of 3.0, and they've actually been busy working and checking that all the object containers are in the right place, as different object containers, contain different locations. For example, Grim Hex is actually at the moment in the object container location of Yella. Now, also on the subject of object containers, they've now actually got a new object container editor, which actually simplifies the work they're doing on object containers and make it less time consuming. Also, on the theme of some more technical tools they've developed, they've actually changed the way internal damage states are handled and managed. Now, previously they were on the old flow graph system, but with this new system, any bugs which may occur in the systems can easily be located and fixed. So on the more technical side, they've moved the ICFS flight systems into something called a new batch update, so that it obviously improves how it works. Also been working on changing the look of the way you go into quantum drive, and also to improve how it performs. Now, they're continuing to work on the revamp of the RSI Aurora, and it's very close to being ready for 3.0. Now, they've also come up with a system which allows the ship to have up to 14 different skins for, the outside of the ship. Now, they're continuing to work on the Anvil Terrapin, and it is in the grey box stage. Now, from what we can see of this ship, it's got a lot of animations for the systems on the outside of the ship, and does look very interesting. Now this work is ongoing, but they're actually changing all the stats for the ships on the RSI site at the moment. Now this is obviously going to take them a while to do, because all the stats on the site at the moment are probably basically not very correct. Now we got to look at what they call transfer meshes, and these systems actually help the animation teams well, animate to a much higher degree of fidelity. And it looks very nice indeed, very smooth animations there. So Eric told us about a problem they had with eyelids on the characters and not actually displaying correctly, but he's pleased to say that now the eyelids are working properly. So well worth keeping our eyes open for this. Very nice looking eyes there. Got a quick look at an outfit for a female character, and they're also continuing to work on the OMC undersuit. Now they're also working on characters for the Levski landing zone, including miners. So it'll be interesting to see all those different characters which inhabit the Levski landing zone. Now they've also actually been busy reworking some of the armour suits we've got in the game at the moment, obviously to bring them up to an even higher level of fidelity. Will be interesting to see the improvement in these suits. We got a quick look at work in progress of the character customization screen for hair. Lots of hair to choose from. At some finished characters, and this is the Mal Marine BDU, which will be seen on the bridge of the Idris. Also we got a look at the deck crew suit, so they're ready to actually do some work outside, and some light female armour, and also we got a look at the female explorer armour as well, and the female characters are coming on very nicely indeed. Now also in Aroundiverse this week there was a long but very interesting technical piece about networking and serialized variables. Now I haven't got a clue what about networking or serialized variables, but fortunately CIG have got a guy called Brian Johnson working at Foundry 42 in the UK who does know his stuff. If you watch the entire piece in Aroundiverse yourself, you will begin to understand the challenges involved in networking a game like Star Citizen. Fortunately, Brian Johnson seems to be on top of things, so it will be interesting to see going forward the improvements in the networking of Star Citizen. Evidently Brian Johnson is pretty hopeful that they've made tremendous strides with the networking and the serialized variables. So that's certainly a very valuable variable to know. Now if you're looking forward to flying the Drake Dragonfly in 3.0 in space and on the surface of the moon, well, you may well have a new option, because the next concept ship has been announced and it's called the John Knox, and it's another space motorcycle. Now we don't know much about the ship except that it's going to be $40 and it goes on sale on Friday the 23rd of June, and they're hoping that it's going to actually be flight ready in 3.0. So look for more details at the end of the week. Now this week's weekly newsletter featured a very interesting work in progress concept art of, well, something called a fauna, but it certainly doesn't look like any flower I know of. In fact, it looks pretty much like a frightening alien creature. Now we know that one of the goals of Star Citizen going forward is to have pets. Some of them could be alien pets, but I don't think I'll be asking this fauna into my hangar. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like, and also it will help the channel a lot if you'd like to subscribe. So until next time, wherever you're watching out in that big universe, you take care. And hopefully I'll see you all sometime soon. Bye for now.